Hey, what's going on, guys? Back at it again. This time we're looking at a Garcia Revo STX, and this is actually a buddy of mine's. It came in. It had a broken faceplate, handle, it's kind of bent. It's got little chips in it, so he got parts, and I went ahead and threw them on there for him. But sticking with the same aspect, I'm going to show you how to do some routine maintenance on this reel here between your cleanings. So now remember, this is just a very basic breakdown of this reel, how to maintain it, not how to fully break it down and clean it, because these guys, they can be pretty intricate inside of here. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to pull this left plate off right here. You do have a thumb screw. This one's a little tight, so I'm going to have to use a screwdriver on it just to break it loose a little bit. So go ahead, loosen this guy up all the way. Now this left side plate still isn't going to just come off of there. You have to actually pull this pin back. Once you unscrew it, it'll come back a little further. So pull it back, then you're going to twist this left side plate up like that, and it'll pop right off there, just like that. So there is a bearing in here. If you would like to lubricate that bearing, go ahead, put a drop of lubricant on it. Just a drop, guys. It's not going to require any more. After that, you can go ahead and pull your spool out. It's going to have another bearing on the other side of it right here. We got a little extra on there, came through. We're just going to clean that off of there. So that's the other side of your bearing, or your other side of your spool right there. It's got a bearing on that side as well. So that's mainly it for this side. If you see some sand, again, any kind of debris in here, go ahead, clean it up, get it off of there. We don't want that stuff rattling around in there and getting in between stuff and grinding it up. Now, unless you're really experienced with low profile reels, I do not recommend you take this right hand side plate off. There's a bunch of little springs in here. There's gears that only go back one way. So just for a general maintenance standpoint, I don't recommend taking this side plate off. What you could do is go ahead, take your tensioner cap off, your spool tensioner. Go ahead, pull that off. This little guy will come off there. You have another bearing right here. You can go ahead and oil that as well. Now, the nice thing that Abu did on these reels is they gave you an access point. So if your reel ever starts getting a little stiff and it starts whining and grinding a little bit, you can actually lubricate the whole inside of this reel without having to take that whole side plate off. So there's a screw right here. We're going to go ahead, pull that guy out of there. And what that will do is open up this little door right here. Little clip comes out, tap the screw out. There you go. Now you can see your gear inside of there. That's your main gear. So you can actually lubricate this reel without pulling this entire side plate off of there. So that's what I recommend for lubing this side of it. Other than that, check your worm gear. Again, make sure there's no debris in there. That's, guys, what's really laying your line down on there nice and even for you. Other than that, guys, that's really it for a maintenance standpoint of this guy. Of course, if you drop it in sand or salt water, something like that, I would strip it down to this point and then just take a water hose or a faucet and rinse this guy out. I mean, as much as you possibly can. Get all of that salt water out of there, put it all back together, and as quickly as possible, get it to your reel cleaner. Whoever cleans your reels, get it to them. Because, again, on the South Texas coastline and into parts of Louisiana, our sand is incredibly fine. It will find its way into bearings. It'll find its way into little nooks and crannies that if you sit there and try and use this reel the next day, it's going to tear it up inside. So just be careful with that. But other than that, we'll go ahead and throw this guy back together. We're going to start with this little doorway back here. Go ahead, throw that guy back in, just like that. Put our screw back in. Don't over tighten this. This is just screwing into plastic right here. So now on our spool tension cap, it does go one direction. You see there's two little notches right there, two little cutouts. And on this washer, there are two little pegs on it. Those pegs go right into those cutouts on there. So just set it down on there and turn it till it drops in. There we go. Just like that. Take your cap, place it back on top. Go ahead, thread it on there. See that? Just be careful. They will try and cross thread on you. They'll go on about halfway and then stop. Don't force it. Take it off there, back it off a little bit, skip a thread, backing it off, and then go ahead and put it back on there. These guys can be a little bit challenging sometimes, but you'll feel it when it goes all the way on. It'll go all the way down like that with very little resistance for you. I'm going to back that off a little bit though. So after we get this side all closed up, now we just got to throw this side back together. So spool goes back in. Now make sure to twist it until it drops into place, because sometimes they won't drop in just right and you'll have this gap right here. Make sure you twist it and it'll drop right into place like it's supposed to. Take your side plate, place it back on there. It is going to be at an upward angle again. So what you're going to do is pull this pin out, twist it down, and there you go. It's locked back in. Now just go ahead and tighten this guy back down a little bit. Don't go overzealous with these either. At that point, that's really it, guys. As for a maintenance standpoint, that's mainly it. There's no other, I mean, there are other bearings inside of here, but like I said, without pulling that right-hand side plate off of there, you really can't get to them. So at that point where this plate needs to come off, again, take it to your real cleaning professional. Let him take care of that for you. So other than that, guys, that's the Abu Revo STX kind of maintenance breakdown. So again, if y'all have any other real requests, let me know. I'll do my best to get my hands on them and get that taken care of for you guys. So till then, I'll see you next time.